honestly, I'm so happy about this. Just immediately getting to the point. Launch Bay is finally going away at Hollywood Studios. This is for anyone that's watching on the replay right now. Just my genuine enthusiasm for the announcements that Disney made yesterday. They're finally getting rid of Launch Bay, the most obsolete, pointless building that, in my opinion, was a massive recessive movement away from the theme of Hollywood Studios. And I'm so happy that what is going to happen is going to happen with Animation Courtyard at Hollywood Studios, just the most defunct area at Disney World. Sort of, I'm feeling a little bit hot about this, just heated, because I've just thought this for a long time. It's just been sort of an embarrassment of a little area up to this point with so many crisscrossed themes. I just compared to what that area used to be and what the point of the park was, to get to the point that it is now is sad. And I'm so glad that it is moving back in the right direction with the Little Mermaid show and just what they've been doing there in the courtyard during the summer with the characters. I don't know, that area has needed so much life and attention recently, and I think that a lot of people shared the same sentiment when Muppets was announced to be going away. That why couldn't it have been Animation Courtyard? Why did it have to be Muppets? Why couldn't it have been Animation Courtyard? And if this was the plan the entire time, then I retract any animosity that I had towards Disney about how they've been doing Hollywood Studios recently, because and they're Disney, they know what they're doing. They're very good at theming, and they have the next decade or more planned out. So we have to trust that they know what they're doing and that there will be this attention given to these areas to make it more cohesive, like budget, budget constraining, obviously, but I'm happy. It's been so necessary to do this. Hello, everybody. I'm just doing a live stream because I wanted to do a live stream. I try to do one every month or so just to talk, but after yesterday's announcement, it just felt like the most appropriate time to just have my thoughts just talk about them, because so much has been happening at Disney, and whether or not it's an answer to Epic Universe, I don't really know, but they're working to improve their parks. The Walt Disney World domestic parks, I think they're really giving attention to what they have versus just creating something new and leaving all of these existing places in even worse shape and non-cohesion. I appreciate that they're doing this. And while it's a bummer to lose Muppets, it's a bummer to lose Tom Sawyer Island, I'm happy that they're creating new things. A lot of it is retrofitting a lot of things, a lot of buildings and lands and stuff, and that could be its own conversation about whether or not that's necessary versus trying to improve areas that do exist while adding and plussing the parks without having to take out Tom Sawyer Island and Muppets and Animation Courtyard. This is this is an exemption, I think, for that from me, at least specifically. I've just had, and if anyone is a huge advocate for Launch Bay, I can understand when it was Launch Bay. Launch Bay was just supposed to be, and I think most people know this, is that it was like a preview for Galaxy's Edge. It was supposed to just, I don't know. I think it was supposed to get people excited about Galaxy's Edge, and then once that plus the stage show that they did in front of the Chinese theater, that was was supposed to satiate people's excitement for Star Wars. And then once Galaxy's Edge opened, everything, I think, would have been presumed that it would have moved over there, and then that Launch Bay could have been something different, something else. They could have rethemed that entire courtyard, and that it took them this long is a bummer, because Galaxy's Edge opened up 6 or 7 years ago now, and just that Launch Bay has just been this shell over there where you can meet the characters, you can see props, it is still a Star Wars experience. It's by no means a complete defunct building, and I don't need to cast that much like disdain on it, but I just never cared for it. Like it's a one and done for me to just walk around, and this might be my unpopular opinion that other people might be like, no, what are you talking about? Launch Bay was incredible, and I don't know. I think that was always a very obvious temporary use of that space that was done well, but way overstayed its relevance to Hollywood studios. And I don't think I'm saying anything that people would really disagree with, other than just maybe I'm being a little too harsh over it. But I think I'm just that excited and that ready for that courtyard to finally be something, because the Little Mermaid show just finally came back. The Disney Junior show is very irrelevant to me personally without kids. People with kids, with the characters there, with that dance party, and then that used to be like a puppet show, which that was very popular. So that's just consistently changed in relevance. If that could be something Disney Junior, if that could be Bluey, that'd be incredible. But yeah, that courtyard has just needed so much attention, and with Launch Bay being that like the weenie that you see when you walk through the iconic arch into that courtyard, which was the studio entrance, and just that cohesion of the entire park, that's its own like that's its own topic almost, just how Hollywood Studios, how MGM Studios was built, and then from what it was to what it's become now. I think it's just a very interesting like deep dive, and just talking to people at Disney that worked at MGM Studios and have gone through the evolution of that park to what it is now. I would find that very disheartening and sad just to see where it is. And Disney has done an incredible job of like integrating their IPs. I think of Star Wars and Toy Story and Mickey Minnie's Runaway Railway, which is a fun ride. They've been working on getting this park to a different place to separate it from that studio concept that is just, it's defunct now. They haven't animated anything, to my knowledge, like at their feature animation building, and it's more just office spaces now from the past 20 years. So how do you take that concept and that theme that was a very set in time theme and make it relevant to now? And I think that they're doing that well. I do. There's still like problematic areas of the park, I think, that are dated, like Indiana Jones and the backlot area over there. If they're going to completely move away from the studio concept, I think they either need to like fully lean into that and make that its own entire land, that could be like the monument to live studio filming, and like that could exist. And I do love the Indiana Jones stunt spectacular. Frozen, I think, is past its relevance probably now. That theater could be something different, and maybe like that could also be kind of integrated into like live studio Disney. Like you could have your animation studio and your live action studio. Like they could make this work, and then they could have their IPs in the back of the park. So they could have this separation, and they could make it exist in Hollywood studios and still have this theme of movies and cinema and animation. And I think that they want to do that, and they're being very delicate with how they're moving towards that. But then I also think that they're being intelligent with how they're like, they are reusing that space. They're making those smaller steps towards seeing if that cohesion. So I 100% want to give them. And then they have the Sunset Boulevard, just like the Hollywood Boulevard, the actual Hollywood aspect of cinema and movies. So they're again changing that building of Launch Bay, which was the animation, it was the studio building, into Launch Bay, and now it seems like it's reverting back to this animation building, and it's so exciting. It's one of those like a course correct of where Disney's been moving, and I'm just really happy that they're doing this, and I'm sure that it's going to be something that's going to benefit them in the long run with just theming. And so I love the Animation Academy, and it's something that I always used to do with my annual pass a decade plus ago when I would come to Disney, when we would go to Hollywood Studios, we would do the Animation Academy in the animation building. And then when that went away, they've moved that to multiple different places, to Epcot, to Animal Kingdom. And it's not something that I do often, but whenever I do it, I used to do it a lot. When I first moved to Orlando, they would upload on the Disney YouTube. They would upload animators showing how to draw characters, and I would do that every single time they had a new one. My YouTube channel 10 years ago was like a montage of every Disney animated character I'd drawn, and it was just such a special thing to me, and I loved doing it so much. And to me, it was a free souvenir, and it was an experience, and it was something that you could only do in that way at that point. So it was a very unique and magical experience to me that no session would be the same. You could probably draw the same character multiple times, but that particular session, drawing that character with that artist, that was special to me. And that I'm going to be able to do it again makes me so genuinely happy. And I needed this. This is very refreshing because a lot of what Disney's been doing is moving in this innovative direction and doing things in their parks that ultimately will be good things. It just really sucks right now. Like Monstropolis is going to be incredible. That Door Coaster is going to be phenomenal. I don't doubt that what they do to the theater and the theming there and the restaurants, it's going to be great. And this one's harder to say, but the Cars area, Piston Peak, is going to be cool. It has to be. I am convinced that they know how significant that project has to be done well. I hope. So losing Tom Sawyer Island and the Rivers of America for that project, coming out on the other side of it, if it's anything like Grizzly Peak and Cars Land in California, then that'll be great. It'll in the interim, it'll just suck. But this is something that I am just 100% on board with. Very much so an advocate for, and very happy that they're doing. And I have a little, I have something here. There it is. There's the concept art for what this courtyard's going to be. And that only took me like 10 minutes to actually show. So this is Animation Courtyard. And the buildings are still there. All the buildings are still the same, just with different paint jobs. You can see there's still the Hollywood Brown Derby and the Little Mermaid building, which still has the Little Mermaid facade there. The Disney Junior building, which I think that's still going to remain Disney Junior, just a new version of the show. What I love about this concept art are the trees. Any time that there's trees and concept art, to me it is such a win, because trees and theme parks, I don't know, it provides shade, it provides just like the greenery that contrasts with the buildings and the people, and the forced perspective, or just the general perspective that it just allows in an area is just so necessary. And right now that courtyard is just concrete. It's nothing but concrete and little kiosks there for snacks or for caricatures. So to have a tiny little grassy area with trees, I don't know, and those street lamps, like this could be such a beautiful little area at night. So you can see along the side of the Disney Junior stage to the right that it looks like they're getting rid of the character meet and greets, at least outside. Those could and will probably realistically be moved inside the animation building. So that's good, because those meet and greets outside the Disney Junior building, they did seem sort of a little Six Flags to me always. They just seemed just tucked into the corner there with this painted background. I don't know. For me, Disney characters, I like to meet them in a natural environment. I love meeting them outside with natural light, with trees in the background. I don't care if there's people behind me, but I like meeting Disney characters in the world of Walt Disney World. I don't love meeting them with a backdrop or something like that. That's why I don't really meet characters that have I don't know, it's like Jack Skellington or something like that, or any other characters like Not So Scary or Very Merry that generally have just like a pop-up background behind them. I'm getting off topic here and on a tangent, but yeah, so if they could move inside, which will probably still have like a backdrop, like the like the character spot characters like at Epcot. Um, I don't know. At least there'll be like in a more intentional space than just kind of being shoved up against the side of this building in the shade with a general themed backdrop or something. I don't know. It'll be cool once it's inside, presuming that it will be inside. But I think a lot of people have noticed this too. It's very obvious they are taking away the arch entrance into what used to be the studio part of Hollywood Studios that has gone through multiple different logo changes and paint jobs. And now that area is just going to be visible with no arch. And this is like this one's hard because I am totally behind that. That sucks, and I wish that they could move somewhere else. Like, I don't think they would do that. It's just a concrete arch. So where would they put that? I have no idea. But that's a bummer that that's going away. That is kind of an iconic part of MGM, of Hollywood Studios, that is now not going to be a part of this park anymore. But it opens up this area significantly. You can't even see inside this courtyard because of that arch. You wouldn't even know if there's anything back there. So by taking that archway down, it will improve this area. You can actually see the animation building in the back. You can actually see the facade for Little Mermaid and for the Disney Junior stage show, which again, if that's Bluey, I'll be happy about that. But yeah, you can see like subtle little details there that almost directly from the Walt Disney Studios lot in Burbank there, just the Walt Disney Studios sign. You can see the tiny little, the road directional, I don't know what you'd call that, but people take pictures of that where it has different like Dopey Avenue or whatever it is, Mickey Avenue. And I don't know. I'm just kind of like looking at this and just kind of like thinking about it as I see it. But it looks like it's taking a lot of references directly from the Walt Disney Studios in Burbank, which Brennan and I have gotten to go to. And let's see, I did pull this up on my phone so I can try to read off of this a little bit. Okay. So this is the Magic of Disney animation, right? I also have another little picture to show here, little concept art. So there's Pluto meeting outside. And again, see, this is how I would love to meet my Disney characters, just sort of in the park. So this is going to be called The Magic of Disney Animation. And you can see that the Sorcerer's Hat is coming back to Hollywood Studios there. And I think that it looks like the Royo Disney animation building that's in California. But it says, in 2026, the current home of Star Wars Launch Bay will transform into a place where kids and kids at heart, that's me, can laugh, draw, dream, and explore animated new experiences. Topping the building will be Mickey's iconic sorcerer hat. Our story in this newly reimagined space begins as the animators have temporarily stepped away, but the building is still buzzing with activity as the characters have come to life and they're ready to play. And then there's portraits that are going to be coming to life, like in Once Upon a Studio. So there's going to be, I think there's pretty much direct inspiration just from that particular short that just brought this energy and this idea to this area to revert it back to what it sort of was, but with a new take on it, that this is going to be the animation building that we're experiencing of the characters with the animators being gone. And I love that idea. That sounds so cool to me. There's also going to be a Drawn to Wonderland playground with an oversized flower garden with musical instruments. So that's going to be a Mad Tea Party Alice in Wonderland playground, which that sounds really cool. Yeah, but the Magic of Disney animation with that animation Sorcerer's Hat back there, like that is just so exciting. And I would love to see all of these characters. I don't know if you're going to be able to meet any of them. You'll be able to draw probably pretty much all of them. So I imagine the characters that they would have out in the courtyard might be repurposed inside with maybe some additional new ones. Yeah, so I think that's just really, really exciting for this courtyard. And just seeing those trees and just seeing the benches, and it makes it so much more inviting than what it currently is. And the arch going away is sad, but like the references to Burbank and to the studios and the departments of the animation studios, this is going to be great, and it seems like a pretty quick turnaround. The Little Mermaid A Musical Adventure is going to stay open during this time that they're redoing this area, so that'll be interesting. But then I think that the Disney Junior, the dance party, whatever summer activities they have going on in the courtyard, those are going to conclude in a couple months. So I am very ready for this. I am so excited. This is such a small but exciting thing that they're doing in Hollywood Studios, and I could not be more on board. So, yeah, I just kind of wanted to just kind of rant about that and just how I'm really excited for it. And just, I don't find any issue with this at all. And if anything, it could even better Galaxy's Edge if they finally do move parts of Launch Bay over to Galaxy's Edge. If you can meet Chewbacca over there, if you could meet BB-8, excuse me, that could be great. If they have all of these props and stuff that are in Galaxy's Edge, if they could be repurposed and integrated into Galaxy's Edge, that would be awesome. And I think that was, again, the original kind of concept of just what this was supposed to be, that it was going to be a preview for Galaxy's Edge, and once Galaxy's Edge opened up, it would move over there, and then they could redo this area with something. Could Monstropolis still have gone in this area, and then Muppets still could have stuck around? Yep, I would have been happy for that, like, equally as much. That could have been great. But this is a compromise that I am happy about. Just that, because if they had done Monstropolis and then Launch Bay and then this courtyard just existed in the way that it does for another half of a decade or more, like, that would have sucked. So that they're doing this and then it's only going to be about a year to turn this around is cool, and I'm happy about that. And it just gives theme to an area that just needs it so bad. It needs trees and it needs a theme, and they're finally doing it. So thank you, Disney. So let's see. I'm trying to see if there's anything else that I missed about it. It's pretty self-explanatory, just that you're going to be able to meet characters. I think there's going to be a theater experience too. Yeah, and let's see. Yeah, you'll be able to sketch your very own Disney characters. I'm trying to see if there's specifics about the actual studios that they talked about, because I think that they're gonna retheme the area just to be reminiscent of the buildings in Burbank, like the soundstage that has the Little Mermaid adventure in it right now is going to be rethemed at the Burbank Theater. Yeah, I'm just reading the Disney Parks blog right now, so this is super exciting. The entire courtyard is reimagined into the Walt Disney Studios, taking inspiration from several buildings found in Burbank, with a special nod to the legendary Walt Disney Studios lots, including their version of the Studio Theater, which is where the Little Mermaid is going to go. Okay. Yeah, so this just sounds really cool. And there'll be places to sit and snack and enjoy the shade. And yeah, this is going to be opening in 2026. So I'm completely on board with that and very, very enthusiastic. I have my little Donkey Kong cup. But I never give myself a chance to stop talking to enjoy a little sip. I'll read some comments here because I've just been in my own little world. So there's the actual animation building, the feature animation building that's still sort of behind this building, behind Toy Story Land 2. This is where they animated Lilo and Stitch and Mulan and Brother Bear. So it's a very significant building. I think it's just mostly office spaces right now, but just from what I've seen inside that building, it is such a beautiful building. It is like a college campus. It really is like they built a Burbank Studios at Hollywood Studios, and then it doesn't have general access for park guests. It stinks because it is such a beautiful building. But this is a compromise that I'll be happy about, but that it still is taking this concept, even if it's not an actual working animation studio, that they're paying homage to what it was. I think it's just still really special. I've not ridden Test Track. I haven't done anything. It's significant in the theme park vlogger sphere, and I'm sorry about that. I get into this cycle of like, I film a lot of important videos to me, and while I'm trying to edit those videos and go to work, I'm trying to go and film other videos too, and there's this there's just this cycle that I get behind, I guess, where I want to go to Thomas Rhett Island like 5 times in the last week that it closes, and I want to bring my GoPro, and I want to bring this old camera, and I want to bring this night vision camera, and I want to bring picnics, and I want to make it like significant to me, that it's not just this video that I'm just gonna really slap together and then throw up for the sake of just relevance. Like I want it to be a video that I will look back on years to come and be very proud of it. And even as repetitive as I probably was in that series of videos, it's still just, it's important to me. And then that's what's most important, I guess, is that editing time kind of dedicated to those videos. And then I just finished editing, not really a series, but Brendan and I stayed at Port Orleans Riverside, and that was really fun. And I wanted to try to take advantage of the perks that you get by staying at a Disney resort, where on your check-in day you can go to a water park complimentary, and then you have early entry into any of the parks that you want to go to, I think, and that's 30 minutes before the park opens. So I wanted to do that on the check-in day because we were only there for one day. So I just wanted to maximize that opportunity, and I went to Magic Kingdom, and I got to see some characters back there in Fantasyland. I went over to see the walls that are almost completely around Thomas Rhett Island and the Rivers of America now, if they're not completely walled off now at this point. And then went to Typhoon Lagoon. Then went to check in at Riverside, and then we stayed there with Arlo, and it was just this fun, cute little experience. And yeah, so it's just all these videos that I just keep getting like behind in because they are significant, I guess, to me. And I don't know if that's an excuse at all, but I try to edit those with a very intent, I don't know, meaningful edit, I guess, because it could be like a something that could be an hour long, you know, that if I could just kind of condense it down to like 45 minutes or something. It's something like that, where it's just like, I want to make sure that I cut the fluff out, but make sure that I leave in things that are important to me. But right, I don't know. So no, I haven't done anything like Test Track, or I haven't seen Disney Starlight, which is a bummer. That's more of like a block out thing that I can't go to Magic Kingdom right now as a cast member. I'm blocked out, and I had a Disney gives you as a cast member, you have your general admission into the parks you're able to use for yourself and guests that are very subject to block out dates, and then you have these other tickets that they give you like a very, very limited amount a couple times a year. You get 2 tickets basically 2 times a year, and those have less blockouts that are applicable to those. So I chose to use mine to go to Thomas Rhett Island on the last day because that was more important to me than going to the first day of Disney Starlight, because I know that I'm going to see Disney Starlight at some point, and I'll at some point also be able to see it as many times as I possibly want, but I will never be able to go to Thomas Rhett Island again. So that's what's important to me over the first culture that vloggers have unfortunately subjected themselves to. First culture isn't bad, but it can be very toxic. Like if I could have gone there the first day, I probably would have, because I love Disney 9-time parades, and it would have been this like genuine thing that I was excited to see and do, but not at the expense of it just like being, I have to be first. I have to get out my video immediately before everybody else. That, I don't like that or respect it, but you know that because I complain about it often. Launch Bay is well overdue for an overhaul. Happy about the news. Me too. Where did I get this cool shirt? Brittany got it for me, I'm pretty sure. Where did she get it from? I don't remember. I got it for Christmas, I think. Going to see AJR in concert. Have fun. It's awesome. Universal is missing trees, I think. They are missing trees. Epic Universe needs some trees, but it'll get there. The trees need to grow and stuff, so it'll happen. The Alice in Wonderland playground apparently is inside the animation hall. I think so. And it works so much better for the park areas and layout. Yes, it does. This will open before Monsters. Yes. Yeah. Because this will open up in 2026. Monsters, I think 2027, maybe. Monsters, I could see them doing like kind of a phased opening. I could see them doing like phases of opening a lot of things at Disney, like these projects and stuff, where they could very quickly turn around this courtyard area, but then keep the coaster that's in the backpack there easily, very much so, walled off. So whatever replacement they have for like Muppet Vision, that could open. The restaurants, those could open because they're just redoing that courtyard there. So I think that could be pretty quick. But the coaster probably needs some like more commission testing time. Probably they haven't even broke ground on building the ride itself. So I have no idea. But I could see them opening up the courtyard first. So, but still, I think that this. I don't know. I maybe they could open up both at the same time, around the same time frame, but I don't think so. I feel like animation will happen first before Muppets Courtyard. At least like the courtyards themselves. I think they want to, because this still has the Little Mermaid in the Disney soundstage, the Disney Junior soundstage. I could see them wanting to open this up quicker just to make sure that this is accessible for park guests and stuff. So something else that I wanted to talk about that is kind of relevant, but I don't know much about it, is that I think yesterday Pokemon announced a theme park. This is Pokepark Kanto, and this is going to be in Japan. And I think it's a very small park. You can see all of these Pokemon there. This is a little pixelated, so I'm sorry about that. But there it is. That is Pokepark Kanto. And it looks very small. But I think the attraction part of this is going to be, I think they said like 600 Pokemon are going to be in this like forest that you'll encounter. I think it's going to be like stagnant, like statues, like sort of dinosaur world to encounter these Pokemon in this forest. That'll just be just maybe like a photo opportunity to take these pictures of these Pokemon. I'm sure they're going to be like in an environment that'll be entertaining and fun as you like walk along this like path in this forest. But you can see there's like a Pokemon Center and a little Pokemart there and a couple little flat rides. That looks like the main like thoroughfare. So this seems like a very, very small park, but they announced it as like a permanent Pokemon park, which cool. I don't know if I'll ever go there. This is supposed to open like early next year, which judging by the size of it is a very realistic time frame to open this up, because I don't see it's not gonna have thrill rides, it doesn't seem, or like dark rides as it could. So I think it's a sort of a cheap theme park, unfortunately. But I mean, maybe it'll be like a show or something like that. I have no idea. It's weird that Pokemon doesn't have as like the biggest media success ever in terms of billions of dollars like generated revenue, that it doesn't have like an actual theme park. I don't know, but cool. This is opening up in Tokyo next year, I think in 2026. So there you go. There's a Pokemon theme park. So I'm interested to see if that's just pretty much like Dinosaur World, but with Pokemon and like a Dumbo and Carousel kind of ride, or if they'll have other elements too, like maybe like a meet and greet or something. That could be cool. I don't know. Maybe some food from the anime or whatever. So yeah, that's pretty much what I wanted to like really talk about. I thought I was going to talk about, the idea was that I was going to talk about more about like Thomas Rhode Island and just stuff and the stuff that I've gotten to do recently, like catching up with videos and everything. I genuinely don't try to be as behind as I end up being. But sometimes it's just it's hard to juggle stuff, and I don't like hearing myself make excuses for it. But like editing these videos and stuff can take some time, in addition to just personal life, right? And work life. The AC in our house went out for 4 days, which was awful. That was genuinely terrible in the middle of July when the heat index is like 102. It's dangerous. But yeah, I think, and also maybe what it more is that I don't try to force videos for the sake of doing them, right? if it's something that I really want to do, I could. But that sounds hypocritical because I do force videos, but in the sense of if it's something that I get passionate or excited about, where if I know that we're going to check in at a resort, that I know that I have this opportunity to do early entry and to go to a water park, I get excited about that. It's something that I may force myself to do for the sake of the content, but then I'm able to go to Magic Kingdom and I'm able to go to Typhoon Lagoon, and that's just a fun way to spend my morning that I wouldn't have otherwise. So I like when content forces me to do stuff, but that's where I can't subject myself to doing content or videos every single day because that is hard. And I applaud people that try to do that. I think that the quality of the videos probably suffers a little bit. It has to, right? To film something every single day, because then at that point, I don't know, you're filming the same thing or you're filming mundane, irrelevant things for the sake of calling it content. And I want something that I can rewatch. That's what it always comes back to is this is content that I make for myself to rewatch in the future. And if there's just too much in between the videos that are special, then it loses that, right? But I think that I'm probably going to conclude this live stream. Look at that. I didn't go for 2 hours this time, just an hour. Yeah, I've probably made my peace with just talking about. I mean, I'm still going to consistently talk about like Tom Sawyer Island and stuff like that. I appreciate if you watched those videos. I know that they were, again, sort of late compared to people that wanted to put them out like the very next day or whatever, but they're important to me. They are significant, and just how I did those videos and how I wanted to do like picnics or go with Brennan or go by myself, and just what I wanted to film and what I brought with me to film with and stuff like that was very intentional, and I'm very proud about that. So if you watch those, thank you. If you've just been watching my videos at all recently, then I very much so appreciate that, because these are fun memories that I'm very enthusiastic to share. Let's see. There was something else that I was going to do. First of all, I don't know if you were here for the last live stream. That was just so exciting, but I did finish my Charizard Lego, my brick set there. This took a while, but I finally did it, and it was fun. And I just need to find a place to put it. And that can be sort of like I did film another video that I'm going to be editing, a video like around the house and stuff. So I have some more stuff that I need to find some places for. We are going to be going out of town soon on a little trip. Dennis's 30th birthday is coming up. So for my brother Travis's birthday, we did something big. We went to New Orleans. And then for my 30th birthday, we went on a cruise, on a Disney cruise. And so Dennis, just sort of the thing that you do as brothers and siblings, where you like everybody kind of does the same thing for same like milestone birthdays, or at least we did. So Dennis is doing something fun for his 30th birthday, and we're going to be doing that as a family very soon, and we're very excited about it. And also, speaking about Dennis, because I did this with Dennis, Dennis and I did a Pringles taste test at the Contemporary Resort, where we tried to rank every single random flavor of Pringles. And I don't know if these are the end of the Pringles, that they continually seem to be coming out with more flavors of Pringles, that I don't think any of these were in the original taste test, or at least I hope not, because I found these recently. And just to like, it's like when we did the Lunchables like taste test and ranking and stuff, and then I found more Lunchables to talk about, and same with Pringles. Like, you can never be done doing like a ranking of a particular brand of flavor. Unfortunately, that's just it never ends. So I got these, and I'm at least going to rank these here, and it won't be able to fit into the ranking of what we did 6 months ago, unfortunately. But this was like, interestingly, this was the not even interestingly at all, a little bit sad actually, but this was kind of the catalyst for wanting to do a live stream, where I was like, oh look, more Pringles, I can do a live stream. See, why would you subscribe to other vloggers when you could watch this? Arlo's taking a nap, and he just, like, looked up at me. Hi. I will be doing a test track at some point soon, hopefully. I will be going to watch Starlight soon. I want to go back to Epic Universe. I don't have the means of justification I think that a lot of vloggers have that have this as their full time. This is what they do, you know, so they can kind of justify buying individual day tickets to Epic Universe. They're annual pass holders probably, and they're able to they can go to Magic Kingdom, they can go to previews of pass holder things, you know, like I don't know. So it's hard to navigate. It is and I'm not complaining because I love being a Disney cast member, but it's been something that it's been an obstacle at times to do this, right? We're being a vlogger by loving just going to Disney and theme parks and editing it and uploading it. That's more been an obstacle to being a cast member, and vice versa, you know, at times. But it's been a balance that I've enjoyed doing for over 10 years, and I hope to continue to do that because I like vlogging and I love working at Disney. So I don't know where I was going with that. Oh, that it's difficult because I'm not on the same plane as other Disney vloggers. So I can try sometimes, but it doesn't always work out like that. This is This is Texas barbecue brisket. It's very mild. Dill pickle. Very pickle forward. Brennan's going to love that. Loaded potato skins. Ooh, that's actually really good. 7-layer dip. Brennan always calls me out because whenever I eat something that I like or that I'm surprised by, or like a little bit of both, I always go like I'm scared or confused or something, which I am often. So yeah, that face doesn't mean that I don't like something or that I do like something. It's just me reacting to what's happening in my mouth. This one's at the very end, definitely. It's just it's way too subtle. But these other ones were really good. That one is spicy. Wouldn't be my go-to, but I do like it. So it's between these two, I think. And yes, Brennan likes pickles. That one just surprises me. I like that one. Okay, that's good, but I think it's more... This has been done. This isn't new. Dill pickle flavored chips. So this is my favorite to least favorite, I think, of those Pringles that I just tried. So that's what you just watched my live stream for. So thank you for that. Hi, Magical Bag. Thank you for liking the Tom Sawyer Island video. I appreciate it. Getting to do that with Brennan, people will not know how much that meant to me to do that with Brennan. out on Tom Sawyer Island, like it meant so much like to me, and I don't want to like I because I wasn't going to be able to go again, and then I found that I could go. That our like one of the days was unblocked that Brennan and I could have gone together, and I like cried because I thought that I was not like tears, but like I got really emotional because it was something that just it meant that much to be able to go back and do that, where I'd been talking about that just for years. We've done it before, but just to be able to go back and do it again, of doing capture the flag and hide and seek and stuff, like that's why that place means that to me. And I think that some people forget about that when it comes to like content creation, or what, like vloggers that just kind of expect the content to be provided to them. They expect, not everybody by any means, but I've watched people like in the past that it's more about like they go to a place and they expect that content to be provided to them, that they just regurgitate, I guess. And I think it's like, and most people do this, thankfully, where like the content is about what you provide to this like community and to this platform and stuff. And I like those kinds of videos maybe don't do as well as just going to film like the newest thing, and that's why when I do my like random toy challenges and stuff at the theme parks, like it's not everybody likes that, and it, it may be immature or maybe unsuccessful just logistically and stuff, but that's what I want to do. That's what I always love doing, and that's what I get out of these theme parks, is being able to put myself in a place where like I try to meet these theme parks halfway, right, with just this potential of being entertained and having a good time. At least in that aspect too of like how I want to vlog things. This is a lot of Pringles, but you have no idea. We had a lot more Pringles than this. So yeah, so that video meant a lot to me, and just the games that we got to play. And even though that particular week was awful with the weather, every single day it rained and lightninged at like 5 p.m. and it was just, timing was awful. Trying to coordinate going there after work or whatever. The day that we tried to do this, where Brennan had to drive from, she didn't have to, but she did. Oh no, my ginger ale. She drove from work and met me at Tom Sawyer Island, and then it poured down rain and we just got soaked, and then we left, and it was really sad. So that we got a redo on that is very nice, even though it was hot and humid and awful, and it still ended up closing for weather anyway. We still got to do it, and then I got to go back again on the final day and got to do just like my final little like love letter to the island, and just walking around and the stuff that I didn't film too, just like taking pictures and just like having little moments and stuff on that island. Like, I don't know, I'm never gonna not stop talking about Tom Sawyer Island. That is, it's always going to be important to me that people were very, I guess they very vocal about being happy that it was going away or not caring at all, and still milking it for the content, and relevance and stuff. I do not respect that at all. And, it made me sad, and disappointed, because I don't know, that's like, when I talk about like content creators or bloggers or vloggers, like I hate that, where something is something that you don't actually want to do, or you wouldn't have any intention to do otherwise, but then you do it for like the content and stuff. Like, that sucks. Just straight up. Like, I don't know. Because I've seen it throughout just the past like decade or stuff. Just people complaining about like not liking or not caring about this thing, but then they have to do it because of relevance and stuff. It's like, nope, you don't have to do anything. I don't think. Or just try to find like the spin on making something cool to you personally, making it relevant to you. That being said, I'm probably gonna be a super hypocrite by like I can't say like, oh yeah, I want Launch Bay to close, it sucks, and then I go and then I like walk around and I film it and stuff. So that's gonna sound hypocritical, but I also want to go back again and look at it and meet the characters for like the last time, and things that I probably never really noticed or took the time to notice. I do want to go back and try to look at those details and stuff. So boxed myself a little bit in by saying that, but I don't know. I don't know if it's the same. It's a launch bay. It was temporary in the first place. It's Star Wars. It's the same props and characters you could meet anywhere. That space, I just wanted to be something better, versus Thomas Sawyer Island, which is that does not exist anywhere else on Disney property and cannot exist anywhere else, and that is getting a complete replacement and stuff. Maybe it's not the same. I don't know. I'm trying to convince myself of that. Yeah. I don't think I'll be at launch bay on like the last day or something and taking up a park reservation to be there or whatever, and then just complaining about how much I hate launch bay as I walk around launch bay. That's the compromise there. That's not something that I'm going to do. But I do want to go back and walk around and see what I missed and stuff. Because it so you have to take my steps back now. Because if you rewatch this video, I was a little bit vocal about how much disdain I had towards launch bay. And I think it was, again, because I just wanted it to be something better that it never became, and that it's just been this lingering thing that it's just way overstayed its relevance. But what they did with that space, with the props, with the storyline, with the characters, like it's a well done space. It's just it was there for too long. I think that's a reasonable take to have. Okay, thank you everybody for being here for this video where I talked about the stuff that I talked about, the new Disney animation courtyard overhaul. It's going to be happening over the next year. The Pokémon theme park that looks a little bit sad, but doesn't matter because I probably won't ever go there. And then trying some Pringles that I just opened up all of and now to commit to eating all of them. Thanks for watching and joining me on this live stream. Have a good day, everybody. Watch the replay if you'd like to. Look at that. I almost talked about an hour, but under an hour, so I'll take it. Goodbye.